Good evening and welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. The coroner investigating the cause of the collapse of a guest house belonging to the Synagogue Church of All Nations has warned that he could take drastic measures to compel the founder of the church, Prophet Temitope Joshua, to appear before the inquest and testify. 116 persons were killed when the building, which serves as a guest house for foreign visitors to the church, collapsed on the 12th of September. 84 of those who died were South Africans. Prophet TB Joshua was due to testify today, but he did not show up. His lawyer argued that he had not been served court summons. Also yet to be served court summons is the contractor who handled the building of the construction, as court bailiffs are yet to testify and locate him. The coroner insists that the clergyman must appear before the inquest to give testimony.
TB Joshua is a great man of God. I have encountered with him about 17 years ago. I was tested HIV positive in 1992. I was about to commit suicide in 1997 when I have encountered with TB Joshua. He prayed for me and I was healed from HIV. Now I'm on my own ministry called Harvest Ministry in South Africa. And I want to tell you that TB Joshua is a great man of God. And whatever that is happening right now is a trial from the devil, and God is going to prevail. Truth is going to prevail.
So, but what are you saying concerning the building?
That building was a bomb. It was a bomb setup. It's that plane that caused the whole thing. I believe it was a bomb that's not how a building collapsed. It was a bomb. It's like a house that was intentionally collapsed by some forces.
Meanwhile, Joshua is already seeking separate court order to stop the coroner from compelling him to appear before it. Following the recent deadly attacks in Gombe, the state government has ordered that all schools should be closed to ensure safety of the students. The closure comes a day after attacks by suspected members of the Boko Haram sect on Nafada and Ashaka, two towns in the state. Last week, a bomb explosion in a motor park located in the state killed at least 23 people. Northeast National Vice Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Baba Thiru Lawal, has said the recent attacks carried out by the Boko Haram sect poses a serious threat to Nigeria. Speaking to journalists in Abuja Wednesday, Lawal also said most of the displaced persons from the captured territories were without means of communication, food, water, shelter or medicine for the sick in the mountains where they were taking refuge. According to him, it was reprehensible that several weeks after the terrorists took over swaths of Nigerian territory, Nigerian government is yet to say a word of condemnation of the act or even a word of consolation to victims. The APC chieftain also noted that the ceasefire agreement earlier announced appeared to be a ploy to allow the insurgents retool and launch more daring attacks in the country. He added that idly watching the northeast burn makes the country at risk of being eventually overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Nigeria President Goodluck Jonathan arrived in Burkina Faso today for talks aimed at quickening the resolution of the current political crisis in that country. Joined by President Macky Sall of Senegal and John Mahama of Ghana, President Jonathan held preliminary discussions behind closed doors with the country's interim head of state, Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida. The three leaders are members of a delegation of head of states and government raised by ECOWAS to intervene in the crisis in which Blaise Compaoré resigned as Burkina Faso president on Friday. The talks are aimed at pressing the military for a speedy handover of power to a civilian ruler. The African Union, who says the army acted unconstitutionally when it took over after President Compaoré resigned on Friday, has given the army a 2-week deadline to give up power or face sanctions. Mass protests first erupted last week when the longtime president attempted to extend his 27-year rule. Many Burkinabés were against the extension of the leader's nearly 3-decade reign. Compaoré, who has now fled to Ivory Coast, first seized power in a coup in 1987. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, News Now continues.
Hi,
My name is Dario Adene, but my friends and my fans do call me D1. And I'm quite excited. I'm very, very excited about the All Africa Music Awards coming up shortly. It's a big thing, it's a big deal, and I want to encourage all Nigerians, I want to encourage all Africans to rise up and support it. It's our thing, it's our own, so we should embrace it, we should support it, and we should encourage it. Look forward to seeing you there.
Welcome back to News Now. The federal government has expressed concern over the increasing number of expatriate workers in Nigeria's emerging electricity industry and has vowed to take measures to cut back on certain jobs in the sector and make them available for Nigerians. Speaking to journalists in Abuja, Minister of Power Chinedu Nebo Wednesday said the government has initiated a one-year apprenticeship scheme to train 7,400 young Nigerians on technical shores in the sector. He also added that the imminent launch of the National Power Sector Apprenticeship Scheme was a new measure to bring back technical jobs for Nigerians in the power sector. The Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, says it has completed the scheduled redemption of its Series 5 976.9 billion zero-coupon bonds that was due October 2014 at par. In December 2013, AMCON had redeemed its issued series of 1, 2, 3, and 4 bonds. AMCON has fully retired a total of 1.874 trillion of all bonds issued since its inception. This is according to a statement from the corporation. Head of Corporate Affairs Kayode Lambo Tuesday said this puts AMCON ahead of its planned redemption schedule as all of its publicly held bonds have been redeemed before the end of its fourth full year of operation. AMCON had issued zero-coupon bonds with a face value of 5.67 trillion as Series 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 between December 2010 and 2011. To foreign stories now, Republicans have won control of the Senate in the U.S. midterm elections, increasing their power in the final 2 years of Barack Obama's presidency. The Republicans also issued their grip on the House of Representatives and now control both chambers of Congress for the first time since 2006. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell said the result was a vote against a government people can no longer trust. Obama, who is to hold a press conference, says he has already invited congressional leaders from both parties to the White House for talks on Friday. About one-third of the Senate, the entire House of Representatives, 36 of 50 state governors, and numerous state and local offices were up for election. Another blow for U.S. President Obama. Vladimir Putin has emerged as the most powerful man in the world for a second time. This is according to Forbes magazine. The Russian president was chosen as the most powerful leaders out of 72 power brokers. It was the third time in Obama's presidency that he had lost top billing. Forbes says the 2014 list of 72 power brokers was chosen to reflect one for every 100 million lesser mortals on Earth, and the top 5 remained unchanged from the last year. The third prize went to Chinese leader Jinping, while Pope Francis was number 4, and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who was the only woman in the top 5, rounded up the group. Now to sports. Nigeria's football player Courtney Dike turned down the monetary rewards for representing Nigeria at this year's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup finals. Courtney, who is also the younger sister of Super Eagles striker Bright Dike, rejected a $7,000 bonus from the Nigeria Football Federation after featuring at the World Cup in Canada, where she and the Falconers finished second to Germany. According to reports, the player says she was satisfied with the opportunity given to play for the country, which she considers bigger than monetary rewards. NFF head of competition Sanusi Mohammed says the federation was shocked at her refusal. She played all 6 matches for the Falconets, including the 0-1 loss to Germany under-20 women in Montreal in the final of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in August. Following his team's 3-3 draw with Anderlecht, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger has said he is annoyed at the team's performance. The Gunners had let a 3-0 lead slip to 4-5 points behind Champions League Group D leaders Borussia Dortmund with 2 games to play. Wenger, speaking after the game, blamed a poor defensive for his team's performance. Victory at the Emirates Stadium would have seen Arsenal qualify for the last 16 with 2 games to spare, but now they need a point from their final 2 games at home to Dortmund and away at Galatasaray. We've come to the end of news now on TV360. I'm Thema Okoro. Do join us again.